ECL. You're gonna wanna see that as soon as humanly possible. We've got Aztecs and Portuguese mirror in this one. It is going to be Spring and Miguel. You can see that they lost game number 1 to the Alliance boys. Daniel and Project Belgium looked really strong in that match, and let's see if they can repeat history here. Portuguese and Aztecs is actually not a 2v2 that I don't know. It doesn't seem obvious how this game is going to shape up. Let's think about it a little bit, and let's look at the maps a little. So one thing worth noting is that Spring is Portuguese, Daniel is Portuguese, so those two guys will be against each other, extremely close to each other on the map with mirrored civs. On the other side, we will have players also quite close, with Project Belgium on the bottom of the map in the orange and Miguel on the top of the map in red, both players playing as the Aztecs. So Aztecs Portuguese, well, Portuguese have quite a nice little tech tree. I mean, they're not the sexiest 1v1 civ, but you can go to ARB, you can go all the way to Champion. You can do some things with Cavalry, but you can't go all the way down that line. Of course, you have the organ gun, you have the chemistry in general and gunpowder in general, which can be quite nice versus a player in Aztecs if they end up going for something like Eagles. But I don't know if that's going to be necessary in this match. Let's see. I mean, I'm thinking Aztecs in this game. I want to go men-at-arms into archers, I think. I don't think direct into Eagles is super viable. Let's see if that happens on the Aztec side of things. And I think the Portuguese, you want to get your cavalry out on the field. But I don't know. To be honest, guys, I don't know how this is going to shape up, and that makes me excited, actually. I'm very happy about that. It reminds me of Nilly's Apartment Cup when the Viper was like, I am not pleased with this castle position. For the rest of the day, I was asking him, like, are you pleased with that castle position? Every time a castle got dropped, I am pleased by that castle position. Anyway, for now, I don't see any scouts forward. It seems like both teams will be mostly going for their own resources. However, Daniel is going to be forward, at least figuring some things out. Maybe he can do something here because Spring's Boar is on the front. So Project Belgium and Daniel play in Alliance, and they are synergizing nicely in the previous match. They're teammates for a little while now. Both guys around the same level. 1v1 are about 2,200 for each of them. No boar steel going to be coming in here. Spring is camping out on his own boar and keeping everything safe. 3 vills on the wood line for Spring. His berries should be somewhat safe. Well, maybe not. Berries on the front. Gold up to the north. Stone up to the north for him. And Spring will have a little bit of gold behind his TC. Kind of similar to last game with a bunch of back golds and stones for Spring. But the wood lines are not quite as nicely nestled in the back of his base. So nothing too bad to work with for him, but nothing perfect either. Maybe Daniel has a decent map. At first blush, it seems like you can wall this in maybe in the late feudal age. Not right away, but maybe some point later in the match. Nice nested gold pile here. Berries could be quite safe. I like this map for Daniel. I like it a lot, actually. This can be quite okay. 3 vills on wood for our Portuguese player playing in the green trunks. Miguel is playing as the Aztecs. Miguel is going for some early game walls. He's going to have berries behind him, stone behind him. Lots of stone to work with, and lots of gold will be inside the walls if he can complete them. Looks like for now, he's on track to get that done. Very early, though, so probably slowing his uptime and slowing his early game aggression. Project Belgium is also playing as the Aztecs. He's going to have gold off to the side of his base. Behind him, a wood line and some berries. Oh, I see a dead Villy, though. Looks like he might have had to lure a boar in, and does not seem like he was able to get back to the TC. Belgium is not loomed. He just hit 20 vills. His opponent Miguel is on 20 vills with loom. So I think the math dictates that he probably lost a vill, possibly due to some Eagle Scout shenanigans. My apologies for missing it, guys. Blue Strawberry, is this best of 5? We don't really know. I just asked these guys, like, would you be willing to play a couple of show matches for some fun on this beautiful Saturday night? And they were like, yeah, let's do it. Maybe we'll play 5 show matches. Every match, I think, is going to be 25 bucks for the winners. So, you know, I'm sure that if you win 3-1, for instance, you're probably still willing to play that last game because you can still grab a little bit of coin. Belgium transitioning out to a back wood line. His feudal age at 830 will come with 21 vills because he's got one dead one. His economy for now looks somewhat well-rounded, but I'm waiting to see how many villagers are going over to the gold. For now it's 2, and for now it's no barracks. So it looks like Belgium might go straight into archers, or could still be straight into eagles. We'll see. I expect straight archers there from him. His teammate is going to be Daniel. D-Lam, also known as Daniel. Daniel will be Portuguese. He's going to get his barracks done in just a moment. I expect a stable from him after that. I expect after the aggression for him to structure up this base and be sitting really pretty safe at home. But for now, he's still pretty open, still getting everything rolling. Scouts and archers make sense on that team for me. Miguel is the interesting one, I suppose. He is up on 22 villagers. Miguel, for now, is not queuing up any militia, so it's not going to be a men-at-arms play. Possibly straight archers or straight eagles for him. And Spring will have the stable down and the scouts rolling out. Any idea why Spring is so low on vills? Spring at the moment is, he's loomed up. He's in the feudal age. Spring missing a villager as well. Spring's on 22, Miguel's on 22, Daniel's on 22, so I'm going to guess that they're all equal, but maybe some idle time, John T. Maybe some idle time has put him like Daniel is on 23 already. I think he's all right. I don't know. I'll keep an eye out for that. For now, we will see a couple scouts rolling forward for our player in blue. We'll see double archery ranges coming down for Belgium, double ranges coming down for Miguel. One thing you can say about Miguel's early walling is that he's not going to worry as much. He may not have to worry as much about the raiding that occurred in the last game. If you think about last game, prior to the raiding of Daniel and Project Belgium, it was probably an advantage for Miguel and Spring, in my opinion. That big raid flipped the game over, though. It was a small advantage, I think, for Miguel's team, and it flipped that into a quite big disadvantage. So, fool me once, shame on you. This time, I'm going for some pretty serious walls on Miguel's side and some pretty serious walling on Spring's side as well. Daniel is really going to be the most open player, and he's got the most wallable map. But for now, he's going to be playing a little scout war with Spring. So Spring for the second game in a row going into scouts. I think that's probably a good strength of his. He's already got 4 of those on the map. We could see a forward spear coming soon from him, but at least for the moment, it's straight up scout production for Spring. Spring is going to continue to, I don't know, wall a little U-shaped hole here to keep his economy safe. And it should be fine. I don't think I want to dive in there with scouts, especially not with a spearman potentially popping out here on this side. So, is it archer production? We assumed so, but yeah, now we can see the archers with our own sweet eyes from both sides of the map. It is Project Belgium reinforcing over near his gold pile, even dropping an outpost over there. The most OP unit in, or OP building in the game. Belgium's production right now is 11, and we will see Miguel on 8. So Miguel up a slight bit later. I think he had one more vill. It's going to slow his production just a tad below Belgium's. Should be fun to watch those two guys go at it. Miguel is a really great player. He's been great for a long time. I think Belgium is still finding his level. I think he still has a lot of potential to improve. Let's see. Anyone know if when the ELO on Steam will be fixed? I certainly don't know. I hope soon. I've been playing a lot on Steam lately. It's not that I think my ELO has improved that much, but would be nice. Would be nice. Miguel is saying, I don't see mine. Talking about the army there of Project Belgium. Right now he's starting to roll forward toward Belgium's base. Belgium has a tower on the back gold. Really worried about that back gold because he's kind of open up in the north. Maybe some walling coming later for Belgium. I think Belgium is not as worried about this part of his base, but maybe he should be. Nice quick house there. Should help him quite a lot. Miguel arrives with fletching. No fletching for Belgium yet, and his archers are still waiting in the wings. So Miguel is here. He has declared himself on the front of his opponent's base, and we will see if he can get some damage. Here comes Daniel. Daniel is not going to dive in. We'll take a poke from the spear and get out of dodge. Spring waiting with a couple of spears at home and should be able to push his scouts out kind of soon. For now, it is going to be a scout war with Daniel running through quite a lot of damage. Daniel on 10 military, Spring on 14. Daniel's going to get the Bloodlines upgrade a few moments sooner, but it's a little too late for him to engage because Spring's going to have it in just a second. Or is it? No, Daniel will turn around and take this fight for a moment until Spring Spears arrive, and he'll get a few pokes back on Springy Boy. Spring will get Bloodlines. Those two guys will continue a really protracted and interesting scout war. I think that Spring with the forward spears has some good things going, but Daniel's walled now, and he's towered on the back wood. If he wants to circle his scouts out and check out Spring's base, he could try that. He's kind of safe at home. Shouldn't be pushed too quickly by this, and let's see where those scouts go. Looks like they will actually go toward the army now of Miguel, maybe getting here in time to do some meaningful damage with Project Belgium. If these guys are communicating a tad better, maybe they could double down on this part of the map. But, you know, Belgium cleaned it up with reinforcements anyway, so not such a big deal. Let's see, guys, if Daniel can get something done with this 10-unit military. Spring did get Bloodlines as well. He's trying to knock on the door of Belgium's eco, but Belgium, or rather Daniel here, should be okay-ish. He's still firing away one arrow at a time on this poor scout. It looks like the full walls for our green player are going to hold up just fine. In the meantime, he has sent his scouts out. Those are Bloodlines now with +1 defense in, and they're going to stand and fight in Miguel's base. And this could be a repeat of the previous game because Miguel is going to lose a lot, probably everything, 2v1. Granted, Daniel lost a lot here too, but Belgium's going to arrive with his 18-unit military, and he's going to have, well, the scouts of Spring coming. Let's see. Let's see if the cleanup works. Daniel did lose a lot of scouts, and it is actually possible that it's actually looking kind of probable that these scouts can deal with Belgium on the other side. Good-ish 2v1 fight, but maybe not good enough because Spring arrives with the cavalry, quite literally, and he's going to clean this up fine. Everybody's losing a lot here in the feudal age. Castle Age is starting to roll in for Spring, Miguel, and Daniel. No Castle Age quite yet from Project Belgium. He's grabbing Wheelbarrow. And this game is going to shift into Castle with no clear advantage. These 4 scouts from Daniel, I don't know where they just were, but they could have helped with Belgium on that side. I think they could have gotten some value out of that fight. But instead, Daniel will be diving in and looking to do some damage inside of the red base of Miguel. Chidap, Spring's not good in team games. Miguel probably raging. Maybe so. Maybe that will be the case. Spring so far he's played well. I think he's fine in these games. Last game he boomed a bit harder than the game might have dictated, leaving his teammate a little open. But this game, Spring seems to be in a good spot with his 10-unit military. His Castle Age is already in. Chain Barding Armor is on the way. We will see 2 stable knights from our blue player. 2 TCs down. Not the greatest map for Spring, but he's making it work somehow, some way. Those first couple knights will head toward Daniel, and Daniel is probably not that scared. Interestingly, 3 stables for Daniel. So he will be able to push out extremely aggressively when he hits the Castle Age. Crossbowman Bodkin Arrow coming for Miguel as we speak. He does not have a huge army, but neither does Project Belgium. Both guys lost a lot of archers there. Crossbowman Bodkin will help a lot with the defense. Once he can clean up these scouts, maybe we'll see Miguel push out. Miguel is a really good booming player. If he can get a couple more TCs down and get a good population, he should be a pretty scary guy in the late game. He's got to be the best late game player out of this group, at least in my opinion. For now, the knights are arriving, and Daniel is probably feeling a little pressure. Looks like he's still holding as far as his walls go, adding a monastery back at home. It is 3 stable knights for our green player, so he should be able to stabilize this position eventually. Stabilize, +1/+2 with Bloodlines in for the green player, +1/+2 as well for Spring in the blue. Spring's not going to win this fight because Daniel has committed to 3 stables, and the forward TC for Spring, that could be an easy and fun place to raid. That's really out there and exposed. Aggressive TC drop. TC drop right on your face. Let's see, University coming down for Miguel. Miguel may be thinking about some ballistics here early on. Daniel continues to raid, continues to grab vills with those relatively, I don't know, relatively inexpensive scouts. They kind of already did their part in this game. Monk down there. Seems like Daniel is going to stabilize the position quite nicely, and Spring is going to have to go for another plan. 2 stables with some monks is not going to beat 3 stables with monks. So Spring has got to figure something out, something different out. Maybe he can get something, some sort of attack involved with his teammate. Speaking of Spring's teammate, we will have Miguel on the front now. Miguel's crossbows have arrived. +2/+1 for our player in red. Ballistics is coming for him. Project Belgium is waiting for his own ballistics upgrade. Total military counts are 24 and 30. So Miguel's got the bigger group, but Belgium will be able to reinforce from this, this range in the north. It's actually kind of a tricky spot for Miguel. Though his ballistics will come in, he can't really force a fight. These crossbows aren't in need of a fight. They can just keep retreating, even knock down the wall and let him back in. You're not going to get bludgeoned down on the front by the red player, so Miguel is actually kind of the one here who's maybe in some trouble. Miguel is maybe in some trouble because Daniel is also over here with those knights, and D-Lam is going to show up maybe in time. Let's see. Miguel will micro away. He'll get as much value as he can out of this fight while he walks back, but I don't think he's going to be super happy with the result. Belgium firing away with ballistics in. We are going to see +2/+1. So lots of damage falling down on those red crossbows. You see a lot of dead knights. It looks like he got some value. He did the best he could here, but Miguel is going to be down to 15 military, 14, 13 or so military at the end of the fight, and Project Belgium is going to have a huge, huge advantage on that side. Spring's coming over, though, to try to equalize that advantage. It feels like the same thing we saw in the Feudal Age. It's exactly the same thing we saw in the Feudal Age. Spring arriving maybe a bit late for the 2v2 fight, but maybe in time to clean up. However, the cleanup's going to be a little bit more difficult this time because Daniel still got 5 knights alive. +2/+2 for Daniel is done. +1/+2 is only is in for Spring. We will see a forward siege workshop coming for Daniel, rather for Belgium. He and Daniel are planning to make a home on the front of the map there. We will see a couple more stables coming from Spring. Spring's on 76 vills. This stable number makes it seem like, I don't know, maybe he's going to either... Well, it looks like he's going to commit to knights in the Castle Age. Really could commit very, very hard because he's going to have several stables down, and all of them do seem to be producing knights. You don't usually build them this early unless you're planning to use them, so Spring is going to push really hard into knight production here in the late Castle Age. Belgium, in the meantime, is sticking to, I believe, 3 stable knights. That's still a lot, but Spring might be up to 5 or 6 stables now. Might be up to 5 or 6. We will see Daniel fighting without his teammate, which is not advisable at all. He's trying to snipe those monks because he's in too deep, I suppose. But Spring definitely got the better of that fight. Kind of separating the wheat from the chaff. Daniel is now away from Project Belgium, and Project Belgium's 2v1. Here come the Knights. That Mangonel could be in a lot of trouble. Both Mangonels could be in trouble. And although the crossbows are firing away... Oh, sweet Jesus! Oh my God, that's the only thing that could have happened to resurrect that value for Project Belgium and Daniel. They're still going to lose the fight, but that couple of mango shots, oh my God. That was actually, those mangonels should have gone down essentially for free, and they certainly didn't. Killed a lot of crossbows, huge bada boom coming in. We will see if Miguel and Spring can push out, but Daniel is already back with the next bastion of knights. The crossbows are essentially dead, and this is turning into a bit of a pickle for the second game in a row for Miguel and Spring.
That's a bit of a pickle, isn't it?
That was a quite nice bada boom. The only thing that can happen in that situation to resurrect the huge amount of damage that Belgium and Daniel were going to sustain was a couple of good mango shots. And boy, we saw one mango shot to the face of that group. And all of a sudden, a fight that should have been great for Spring and Miguel was not so great. I think they still have an opportunity here, but they certainly would have liked that fight to go better. Remember, Spring is really balls to the wall in Knight production. He is going to spend a lot of resources keeping that production going. Miguel is closer to clicking to Imp. Daniel is actually not so close to Imp either. His military count is very high after building quite a lot of Knights as well. It actually looks like Miguel will be the first guy up to Imp if he wants to be, maybe followed by Project Belgium. Miguel is salty, says John T. Well, I would be too. I think it was Spring saying that there's some lag. But oh boy, that was not a fun result. Sanctity coming for Daniel. Daniel is continuing to expand out his economy at home. It is about 156 vils. I think exactly 156 for a second there for the Daniel and Belgium team. But look at this on the other side. It's almost 200 vils. So actually a really nice villager advantage for Spring and Miguel. So although Miguel might not be happy with that one mango shot, the villager counts look quite okay. The villager counts look quite okay. Imperial Age is coming for Belgium. He's going Eagles. He's going to transition over. Miguel, for now, is not clicking the Eagle upgrade that I've seen, and I don't see any extra barracks for him. So Miguel may stay a little bit longer down the archer line, maybe going toward the arbalest move. He'll be here with Spring, continuing to make a push. Mr. Spring is going to be still in the Castle Age for a while. He is all in for Knight production. And Daniel is going to stand right there with him. Both Portuguese players sticking in the Castle Age and getting more Knight production. But 80 vils for Daniel to make Knights with and 108 vils for Spring. So Spring's production should be quite a lot faster and more intense than his opponent. Daniel trying to get some rating, but I don't think he's going to get too many villagers here before he gets cleaned up. This is the key point, I suppose. Those Knights diving in from Spring are going to idle a lot of Belgium's eco. We also have Miguel camping up on the hill, firing away with crossbows. They are treading all over the base of Belgium, Belgium with 24 idols. And this is not a good time for idols because he's trying to afford all of the upgrades for the elite Eagle Warrior that he's going to want to have in the Imperial Age. And of course, that is incredibly hard to afford if you lose your economy. Lots of gold still in the bank for Belgium. He can definitely pump some Eagles here. But after buying Elite Eagle and basically getting the upgrades, look at how fast that gold just seemed to melt out of his economy. This could be GG because Spring is still here in pretty high numbers and Miguel is hanging right beside him. Now the Arbalest upgrade is in. They're going to put down even more damage from even further distances. Chemistry and Capped Ram coming to follow this up for our player in red. So he is going to ram down and knock down the front of the base with Arbs. He's also going to send some Arbs to his teammate just to make sure that Spring doesn't lose this side versus Daniel. It looks like it's pretty darn sealed up unless Project Belgium can do something really, really special with the Eagles. About time to start thinking about trade. Well, trade should be coming up here in just a few minutes. That's a good point, John T. For now, it's Belgium and Daniel trying to hold on for dear life, but not quite able to get the job done. There were some good fights for Belgium and Daniel in front of this base. There was a nice bada boom at one point there. But at the end of it, Spring's boom was really strong. His Knight production staying in Castle was really Johnny on the spot. And this time, it's not Miguel who gets raided relentlessly. It's Belgium who gets raided relentlessly. Another nice team game. I think the Alliance boys played very well. But this one will go into the win column for Spring and Miguel. Quick look through the achievements, guys, and we'll jump into yet another match. Let's see, couple relics grabbed from Spring, had the villager high for a long time. I think he was actually full boomed before the end of the game. Spring had a huge military. He did have more losses, but at the end of the day, very strong game from him. He was kind of the guy who finished it off with a nice little bit of rating. So we've got another match launching. You guys can see that the players are already in the game. Let me update the scoreboard and we will get ready to rock and roll. It is now 1-1. I think we're going to play 5 games here. there isn't really a schedule for this, just kind of a last-minute couple of show matches. But I think we'll probably try to go for 5. It is going to be 2v2 throughout, as far as I know. We got some bits in from Mandude, LOL Mandude. Thanks for the cheer. Sorry if your notification didn't play. I didn't hear it yet. Thanks to the other crazy amount of